Hello students, good morning to everyone. Hope all are doing good. Fine. So in this beautiful day, we are going to discuss about some interesting topic. In front of you, there are some pictures displayed, no? Can you guess? Yes, today we are going to learn about our heart. Now, what is a heart and what's the function of the heart? Why it is called as double circulation? So in this class, we are going to learn about these things. Now, what is the heart? We all know that heart is an muscular organ. It is present on the left side of our body part under the rib cage. So heart is covered by a thick wall called pericardium to prevent the heart from shocks. Okay, natural barrier it is. Now, what's the function of the heart? As we all know, heart it pumps blood to various parts of our body. So only we call it as an amazing organ. Now, how does the heart works? Before learning about this, we should know about the blood vessels. Okay, there are three types of blood vessels: veins, arteries, and capillaries. Okay, so these are the elastic tubes. They carry blood from various parts of our body to the heart, and from the heart, it carries blood to the various parts of our body. Okay, the blood is circulated inside our body through these blood vessels. So the entire system we call it as a circulatory system. Now, why it is pumping the blood to various parts of our body? Because blood is very essential for our life. It carries oxygen as well as nutrients from heart to various parts of our body wherever it is required. And from various body tissues, it takes the waste gas, that is carbon dioxide gas, and it enters the heart, and from the heart it enters into the lungs where it gets oxygenated, and then it comes back to the heart, and from the heart the blood is pumped to various parts of our body. So in this lesson we can learn in detail how it is working, what's the mechanism of pumping of blood inside the heart we can learn. So before that we should know the structure of the heart, how it is made. So in the right hand side you can see the external view of the heart, and in the left hand side you can see the internal view of the heart. So when you hear about the heart, we should able to tell about the auricles and ventricles. Okay, and then superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Now look at this internal view you can see here. So on the right hand side it is marked as right atrium, and the left hand side it is marked as a left atrium. Okay, and see here in the lower two sides it is called as right ventricle, and the left hand side is called as the left ventricle. So basically our heart is four chambered. Okay, the upper two chambers we call as an atrium, and lower two chambers we call as an ventricles. Now you can see, apart from these auricles and ventricles, we can see the tricuspid wall on the right hand side and mitral wall or bicuspid wall on the left hand side. So why these walls are present here? Because the flow of blood is unidirectional inside the heart. Okay, to prevent the backward flow of blood, this wall is present. And now this blue color, it indicates the deoxygenated blood which is entering into the heart. And the left hand side, it indicates the oxygenated blood inside the heart. So the two blood should not mix. Okay, the deoxygenated blood should not mix with the oxygenated blood. So only it is separated by a wall called septum. See here, this is the septum. It separates the two sides of the heart. Okay, and then again you can see other structures. See, pulmonary veins, pulmonary valve, aorta, and pulmonary arteries. So from the right ventricle through the pulmonary valve, see, the blood goes to the lungs, and from the lungs it returns back to heart through pulmonary veins. It enters left atrium and then to left ventricle, and from the left ventricle it is pumped out through aorta. Okay, are you all clear about the structure of the heart? Very good. Now, how does the blood flow through the heart? What is the mechanism behind this? We can learn in detail now. Both the right and left side of the heart, they work together. They continuously pump the blood out to the heart, and then from various parts of the body, the blood is carried to the heart, and from the heart to the lungs, and lungs to the heart, and to the various parts of the body. So it is continuously working. See this flow chart, it shows you clear mechanism of the pumping out of blood. Now, this blue color arrow indicates the deoxygenated blood, and this red color arrow indicates the oxygenated blood. So at first, as I told earlier, the deoxygenated blood is collected from the body tissues, from various parts of our body through capillaries, and it enters through vena cava into the right atrium. So from the right atrium, it enters into the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle, it flows through pulmonary arteries to lungs. Once it reaches the lungs, it becomes oxygenated. Okay, see here, from lungs, the blood enters through pulmonary veins inside left atrium of the heart, and from the left atrium it enters into the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle it goes through aorta and to the various parts of our body wherever it is required. Okay, so this entire mechanism we call it as a cardiac cycle. Okay, and now see, look at this picture. It shows you the clear representation how the blood is pumped inside the heart. Okay, see, this blue color indicates the deoxygenated blood. Look at this arrow. See, through the inferior vena cava, the deoxygenated blood, it enters into the right atrium. Okay, and from the right atrium, the blood is pumped to right ventricle. Okay, so here how it is pumped out. So when the heart is relaxed, when it is in relaxed position, the blood comes inside the right atrium through the vena cava. It fills the right atrium. And when it contracts, it pushes the blood to the right ventricle. So relaxation and contraction of the heart muscles results in the pumping of blood outside from the heart and also inside the heart. Okay, so once the blood is pushed from right atrium to the right ventricle, the tricuspid valve closes. Because as I already told, the flow of blood is unidirectional. Okay, so when the right ventricle contracts, it pumps the blood through pulmonary artery and it enters into the lungs. Okay, so when the heart is relaxed, it is filled. See the atrium, it will be filled with the blood. So through the pulmonary veins, the blood enters into the heart from the lungs. And once it contracts, it pushes the blood to left ventricle, and from the left ventricle when it contracts, it pushes the blood to aorta and it comes out through the various parts of our body. As I already mentioned, see, you can see a thick wall around the heart. So it is called as the pericardium. Okay. Now, both relaxation and contraction of the heart muscles results in the pumping of blood inside the heart as well as it pumps the blood outside the heart to various parts of our body. Are you clear in this? Very good. Now, why it is called as double circulation? Because the blood enters the heart twice. See, once it enters the heart as deoxygenated blood and it is coming out the heart as oxygenated blood. So only it is called as a double circulation. Okay. So you can see here the terms systematic circuit and pulmonary circuit. What do you mean by that? Systematic circuit means the deoxygenated blood from the body tissues, it collected through the capillaries and it enters through the vena cava and then it enters into the right atrium. See here, this is deoxygenated blood and again it goes to pulmonary arteries through lungs. Okay, where it is get oxygenated and from the lungs it is again returning back to heart through pulmonary veins and it enters the left atrium. So the right side contains the deoxygenated blood and the left side contains the oxygenated blood. Okay, so the blood enters twice inside the heart. So mainly we call it as a double circulation. Okay, from body parts to the heart we call as a systematic circuit and from heart to the lungs we call it as a pulmonary circuit. Do you understand that? Why it is entering into the lungs? Yes, for the gaseous exchange because deoxygenated blood means it carries carbon dioxide. So in the lungs, gaseous exchange takes place and the blood gets oxygenated and then it comes back to the heart. Okay. Now, can you recall the importance of the tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve in the heart? Yes, correct. So where the tricuspid valve present between the right atrium and the right ventricle. See, you can see here this arrow. This is the tricuspid valve. So once the blood is pumped to right ventricle, the valve closes because keep in mind the flow of blood is unidirectional in both right hand side as well as on the left hand side. Okay, so in the right hand side we call it as a tricuspid valve and the left hand side we call it as a bicuspid valves. Okay, do you all understood now what is double circulation and what's the function of the heart? Very good. I think the class is very useful for you and thank you for your attention. Happy learning.